Hi everyone, it's Samantha Russell from 20 Over 10, and today I thought we would do something different. So I have Rachel here from our copywriting team. Hi Rachel.
Hello.
And she is officially going to be the first team member to kick off a new series where we're going to bring people from our design, our copy, our branding departments here to help you learn what you need to know to best market your business directly from our experts. So I'm so excited to have Rachel to talk with us today about copy. Copy doesn't always seem that exciting, yet it is the number one thing people struggle with when launching a new website. So today I've invited Rachel to join us to talk about the 3 biggest copywriting mistakes that she sees people making time and time again. So let's jump right in. What is mistake number 1?
Okay, so mistake number 1, I think just overall, is thinking us versus you.
Okay.
We just tend to want to talk about ourselves.
Yes.
Whenever we're writing a website, it's about our firm, so obviously we want to talk about us, and you do, but overall you really want to be you focused, thinking about the reader and what's going to connect with them.
So I love that tip, and I will tell people, think of it as a problem solution model. What is the problem the people that you are trying to talk to have, and what is the solution that you provide that will help them solve that problem? Would you say that is a good way to frame it?
Yes, and I think a good way to think about it is nobody really just like wakes up one morning and says, you know what I want to do today, Sam? I want to go get a financial advice. Like, that just doesn't happen.
Right.
They do it because there's something happening in their lives and they need you for it. So whether it's they're nearing retirement and they're like, okay, I have to get serious about this.
Sure.
They just inherited a bunch of money, whatever it is, there's a reason they're coming to you. So instead of just saying, I'm a financial advisor, this is what I do, say, hey, I know you're reading this because you're experiencing this, and here's how we can help.
Great tip. I love that. Okay, so mistake number 1, don't be focused on you and how great you are. Instead, think about how you can help your end prospect or client. Okay, what is the second mistake we see people making?
Okay, so second mistake has to do with calls to action.
Okay.
And basically not putting enough thought into them, because they're just, a couple words here and there, so you would think it's not that big of an issue, but these are really what are driving prospects to call you, to schedule with you, to read through your website. So put more thought into them.
So the call to action, for those of you maybe not familiar with this marketing jargon, would be the next step you want someone to take. So whether it's download our ebook or book a time on our calendar, what is the next step you want them to take? That's your call to action. Typically it's a button of some sort, and so you're saying they just slap that button on, they're not thinking about the wording of the button.
Yes, the wording, the placement. You want to have something that's going to drive them to take that action. So give them a verb like discover, learn more, schedule now, things that kind of call action.
Great. No, that makes a lot of sense. I love it. Yeah. Okay, and the third mistake that you typically see people making.
So the third mistake is really just kind of introducing too much too soon. Mm-hmm. These are people who, whether they've been to your site 1 time or 10 times, if they haven't reached out yet, they're still not sure. So you don't need to be putting it all on the table like right now.
Vomiting at them. Yes.
And an analogy that I think of sometimes when I'm writing these sites is, if you've ever been to the Apple website, obviously you've all heard of Apple. If you haven't been to their site, check it out. They are obviously a company that sells computers and tablets and phones. These are things that are super technical. There's lots of components. On their homepage, they could start listing out all the specs and everything, but we don't care. What we want to know is what it's going to do for us. Like, their newest phone has a 12 megabyte ultra wide camera.
Yes.
It's like, okay, that's great, but what does that mean for me, the consumer? So you don't need to be inundating them with all these details. You can kind of start small, say, here's what we offer, this is why you should care. And then once you kind of make contact with them, that's when you get kind of into the nitty-gritty. Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to your first point, really, of just constantly putting yourself in the shoes of why is someone there, speaking to that need or that desire or that problem, that pain point they have. And then the goal is just to get them to make contact with you in some way. And then you can get into the nitty-gritty. I love that. Another thing I've told people is on your homepage or about page, that's where you should really be sparse in the information you provide and just playing on that emotional component, and save the really meaty discussions for your blog. You can dive deep into a topic on your blog, which will improve SEO and lots of things, but save the just really more of the emotional component for the main pages. So just to recap, those 3 main copywriting mistakes that Rachel does not want you to make are just overall don't focus on you and your credentials, but instead focus on the potential person you're trying to reach. The second one is to really think about the wording of your calls to actions, those buttons that compel someone to take the next step. Yes. And then the third is to not overwhelm people with content, but to really focus on the overall feeling you want to portray, and remember that you can always share more information, dive into the features later. Well, thank you so much for joining us,
You're
Rachel.
welcome.
And thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to 20 Over 10's YouTube channel, where we share a tip that will help you grow your business through marketing every single week. Thanks, everyone.